Alright, same as last year. Every rider gets one entry, and before we start proper, some of these are a bit of a reach for the sake of making a decently substantial list. Like, for instance, Kamen Rider Buffa, who is clearly not snake-themed. But he has a form themed after a rider who is snake-themed, so here he is. Mind you, Buffo wears it well, arguably better than Kamen Rider Geats does with his own similarly styled homage to a previous rider. But in this case, it's a little hard to shake the feeling of, do I like this, or do I like this because I like what it's derived from better? Another contentious entry is Kamen Rider Valvarad's Orochi Shovel Custom. The form itself is partially based on the Yamato no Orochi, a mythical serpent with 8 heads and 8 tails. But the Jama no Orochi Kemi from which the form is derived from has feet. Tiny, whittle, stubby feet befitting the rotund little guy, but maybe that disqualifies it from being a snake, as cool as this form's power set is. The one that you can't argue about is Kamen Rider Gotchard Dr. Heavy. Yes, this really is just a snake. Dr. Heavy has concept art detailing what it would have looked like as an actual suit, but even if this had materialized in reality, the wild form would still be taking the slot. In fact, it's so snake that in my heart of hearts I know this to be the true number 1. So do me a solid and pretend the 7 is a badly written 1, alright? Next coming up, if I wasn't ranking these as specifically snake-themed riders, I think this one would be a touch higher. The turtle and the crocodile aspects of the suit just unfortunately draw my attention more. Regardless, the snake turban is still really cool. But do you know who wears the snake better? Kamen Rider Koki. The way the snake is integrated into Koki's design is inspired, burying the bulk of the purple to distinctly separate it from the rest of the suit. As I alluded to, it's a more extreme version of the idea that O's was playing at. Every Ride Kamen's Kamen Rider is based on a pre-existing rider, and as heretic as it might be, I think Koki actually gets really close to straight up usurping his original, who in this case is Kamen Rider Oja. I almost went with his Survive form, because I think the stabby gun fits Asakura better than the scepter thing he has in his standard base. But the original is too iconic, especially because Oja also serves as the sort of benchmark for all villainous riders that have come since. Even if I can't look at the helmet without thinking of the snake fella from Kabutak. Not quite a problem with the similarly villainous Kamen Rider Evil, though. This one is really pleasing to the eye. The burgundy, the navy blue, the dull gold, meshed together with that regal astrology aesthetic just makes for a really pretty design. But it's a bit much, especially when the suit is in motion and all the colors bleed together. Which is basically why Kamen Rider Jeanne beats Evil by a hair. The blue and the brighter orange feels a lot more purposeful in the way it's laid out, and that just results in a cleaner design. The pliable layers of the suit sort of invoking how a snake sheds its skin is also really neat. Of course, there is a happy medium between the complex and the simplistic, and for me that is Kamen Rider Saga. The suit is regal, it's elegant, and it comes with that sick nasty whipsword that moves like a snake. I particularly like Saga's stained glass patterning for its narrative utility. It's evocative of the Fangire monsters from the same show which Saga originates, so that instantly clues the viewer in that this rider leans away from the heroic end of the morality spectrum. And yeah, that's it. Do you agree with my list? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and until next time, see ya. Also, I'm not doing this next year. I literally cannot. There is only like 2 horse riders at best, so unless gavv suddenly comes out with a cavalry's worth of equine superheroes, this is the definitive end of the line.